Green Cooling scores with the 13 Pro-Am Community Rugby League Show.
Hello and welcome along to the 13 Pro-Am Community Rugby League Show. I'm Dave Parkinson and we've got plenty to get through as we look back on another big weekend in the National Conference League. And we begin with a cracking contest over at Lock Lane. They played host to York Acorn. It was a special night for one of Lock Lane's stalwarts, 23-year-old Lucas Moon, yeah that's right, who notched up his 100th NCL appearance for the club, a real milestone moment. And I caught up with Lucas before kick-off to get his thoughts on what the club and the game mean to him. Here's what he had to say. OK, I'm really pleased to be joined by Lucas Moon, Lock Lane. Special night for you, Lucas. 100 games. I mean, wow, that's quite a big achievement, that, isn't it, pal?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about, your time here with Lock Lane.
I don't know, to be fair, it's just rugby, innit, you know what I mean? I've enjoyed playing, grateful for 100 games, grateful for all lads and coaches.
How long is it since you made your debut?
2017, I think it was, when I was 16.
So, I mean, you've been at first team virtually ever since, haven't you, mate?
Yeah.
And are there any real standout sort of memories or games, or is it one of these where games just go past you kind of thing?
Games just go past. Every game's the same, really, innit?
Tell us about what sort of player you are.
Just carry hard and tackle. That's all I really do. I don't do what fancy. I've been playing rugby since I was about 6 years old, do you know what I mean? Been at Lock Lane since we're about 11 years old, so been a long time here, hopefully a lot longer.
Was it one of them where, when you knew that your first team debut was coming, or did you get sort of thrust in at the deep end, so to speak?
Just chucked in at the deep end.
Chucked in?
Yeah. Didn't know anyone about like that. Just got on a trip to Cumbria, and that was my first game. You know
what, it's amazing how many trips to Cumbria are like debuts for lads around NCL, isn't it?
Yeah. There were three Cumbria trips that year as well for me, so aye.
Did you end up playing in all of them?
No, I think I missed one of them and that were it, so wasn't too bad. It's nice to play in it.
Bring the 100 up against York Acorn tonight. Have you any special memories at all playing York Acorn at all?
No, not really.
Not really? No. Not really, no. And I suppose as well from your point of view, any other standouts, I'm thinking sort of like best teammates and that type of stuff.
No, I think they're all the same. It's a team effort, innit? Yeah, all lads are great, to be fair, you know what I mean? It is a good laugh, innit, with all lads.
And I mean, Lock Lane's been doing pretty well this season, haven't they? On the edge of the playoffs as it stands at the minute, or hoping to go further, but could start it with a bit of a statement tonight, really.
Yeah, it'd be nice, to be fair, get a win over these, and it could put us up to 4th, I think.
How have you gone on against them in the past over the last couple of years?
All right, to be fair, we fared up quite well against them. A bit of a 50-50 with them, I think, over years.
It was a tight, intense contest under the lights in Castleford as Lock Lane took on York Acorn. Lane started well despite being down to 12 men early on. Harvey Keir saw yellow for a high tackle, but on his return, Morgan Jones landed a penalty and Brandon Worsley went over for the first try. York responded before the break. Harry Kirk crossed and Jack Green added the first of 3 goals to level things up at 6-all. Green then nudged Acorn ahead with the penalty from the restart, but Lane edged back in front through Lewis Price. From there though, it was all Acorn. Started off with an interception, Jack Green going about 70 metres to score, and then following him over the line was Josh Parker and Ryan Gallagher to seal the 22-10 win and push York above their hosts in the standings. Their halfback Jack Green was absolutely outstanding. He pulled the strings beautifully, guiding his side around the park and creating plenty of problems for the Lock Lane defence. I managed to grab a word with Jack after the game. OK, I'm joined by Jack Green. Jack, what a performance that was, mate.
Yeah, it's a great effort by the boys. We've been talking in training all week about upping that completion rate, and we really did it today. We had patches. I think we played well for about 60 minutes, but we'll get there, work on it week by week and trust the process.
I think like you said, that second half though, I mean, it was really tight, wasn't it?
Yeah, it came down to the drop of the ball in that second half. Both teams worked really hard and it was a real contest, but I think at the end of the day we've wanted it a little bit more and we're a little bit more disciplined.
And it was blink and you miss it when you picked up and went 70 metres.
Yeah, I didn't know I had that gear in me, but we'll keep working out on the training ground and work on it week by week, and got to be fit enough. The physios will keep us fit enough, so then when that opportunity comes, we'll take it.
Is this your first season at Acorn?
Yeah, my first season at Acorn. Chillo got in touch with me at the back end of the year last year and got me down for the Challenge Cup, and it's been a real pleasure playing with the boys.
And how are you finding it, sort of all settling in now?
Yeah, settling in week by week. I still don't think I've put a complete performance together. We're getting there in patches, but we'll work on it week by week. And like I say, trust the process and it'll all come together.
Tell you what, when you do actually get it all clicking, someone's in for a shellacking, aren't they?
Yeah, well, we do work hard as a team, plenty down at training, and like I say, I can't reiterate enough that work on the training ground and it'll come together. We just got to lick it quick.
I know I was sort of looking through your side, and I got to say, Tim Stubbs, what an awesome performance from him tonight.
Yeah, what a beast. Like, I won't want to tackle him on God, I play out wide. You won't want to tackle him at training either. He's a massive force, and you don't want to stop him, and for a big lad, he's got an engine. And
then yourself and Josh forming that partnership at half-back.
Yeah, it'll come week by week. I think played 3 consecutive games now, and if I'm not mistaken, I've 3 different back rowers, so it'll come. Forming a real good partnership with Harry Kirk in the centre as well, and we've both played together, so that link up will come. Like I say, we just got to take it from the training ground, and if we complete and we're up there, we'll have a chance.
I also had a chance to speak with Acorn's head coach, Ant Chilton, who spoke about the importance of consistency and what he's building with this group of players. Right, so with Ant Chilton. Ant, congratulations on the win tonight. It was a really hard-fought one, this, wasn't it? 22-10 here at Lock Lane.
Yeah, it was. We don't come here often and have an easy game. You know, even if you're ahead, you're going to be getting whacked. Yeah, to be honest, that's probably one of the better performances we've done this year. We've had spells in games, but we didn't really have a bad spell today. We dropped a few balls or gave a few penalties, but we didn't have a 5-10 minute bad spell really, which really helped us in the end.
Well, the good thing was, you defended the back of it superbly, didn't you?
Yeah, we spoke about that with little 1%ers. If we drop a ball or we give a penalty, we just want to get on with the next thing, not moan about it, and just basically ramp up and get over that.
I was looking down your line-up and I thought there was, it was a real team performance, but I thought there was 4 lads that really, really did stand out. And I want to start with Tim Stubbs off the bench. Awesome.
Yeah, he was really good today. He's only just come back really from rugby union. He had a real good game 2 weeks ago, and last week he just took his foot off gas a bit, and we said to him today, we need you big time here. These are a big set and they're going to come for you. And we had a late dropout today, one of our middles, so we only played with 16 really. The last sub we didn't put on, that was Harry Bromwich, who was stood shivering on the sidelines, so Stubbs did really well.
And as well, George Hunt, I know you talk about him quite a lot, and I know it's like you missed the consistency into really, to be honest, at Acorn.
He is, he literally gives you 100% every week. He never comes off, he's never injured, he's always really fit. It honestly wouldn't surprise me if a pro club comes in for him at some point. Get him in gym and he'll be up for anything really. And
to be fair as well, there were times when he's taking balls in and you're thinking, wow, you just took one in before.
Yeah, he carries, and then all of a sudden the halfback's got it and he's stood as a willing runner, and if he's a willing runner he will get the ball. He's only slight really as well, he never really gets knocked back, his footwork's good and he's a lot stronger than you'd expect.
And also as well, you've got this developing half-back partnership now. I know obviously just having a chat with Jack, he's still finding his feet at the club. Josh Parker's played either and everywhere for you, hasn't he, to be honest?
He has. Josh has played 1 to 7 this year, I think. Obviously he's played it over the years. He hasn't really played a lot of half-back, but he spoke to me in pre-season when I first started. Obviously I'm trying to not play, and he said I want to go there, so I said right, we've got pre-season to work on it, and he's getting better every week. And same with Jack, to be honest. Jack looks amazing in training, and then we get to a game and he's not. It's not that he's not talking, he's just not being loud enough, sort of thing, so the ball's not coming to him as much as it would. But once he gets the ball, he causes problems. He's been hitting his edge as well, and obviously you saw him clean pair of heels today when he got through.
Bit of a magic moment that, to be honest, wasn't it? It was game changing because they were flooding forward, weren't they?
Yeah, I think it was probably on hour 20 or something like that. They put a ball down, he picked it up, and we've obviously seen him in training, we know how fast he is, and he set off with he's in here, and then looked like he was getting caught, and then he changed gear, I think, and he just kept going.
He just weaved, I think, a little bit at the end, and that little wiggle of the hips got him home.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We chat quite a bit away from training and that. He's rugby mad. He's always asking me things like, obviously he's a similar position, or same position as me, total different player because he's got a bit of pace, but he's always asking, he always wants to learn, and he is learning, he's doing really well.
You mentioned about trying to keep off the pitch yourself, but yet you have played a few times, haven't you, this year?
Yeah, I've missed the last 2 now. I was injured last week, and I fly to Spain tomorrow. I get married on Wednesday, so...
Oh, congratulations.
When we had a dropout today, I said to Mrs., I was like, right, I might be on bench here, and he was like,
don't.
Absolutely no chance, so I did as I was told.
But I mean, like, this is probably the perfect wedding present for you then in that case.
Yeah, well, a few lads said that. Let's start the weekend off well, so really good start for us. A lot of them out at work tomorrow because I think there's probably half the team flying out there. I've made them go Friday to Friday, so they'll be playing next week. I'll be missing the game, but they'll be playing.
I think what this does show, I mean, this happened like last year for you as well, didn't it, with, stag do's and various other things as well. But it shows how together you are.
Yeah, it does. Obviously, that's a bit of a downfall with taking everyone away, but we try and, start of the year, we try and get all the dates in the stag do's and that, and then we speak to the league and say, we're not available them weekends, can you try and work the fixtures? And sometimes they try, obviously it's not possible all the time, but yeah, like I say, we're just a close-knit group, everyone's mates with everyone.
And then just a general question as a finisher really, I suppose with the way that Hunslet's gone, it's really opened up this top six, hasn't it, this year?
It has. I think we've seen that, especially with the results in the league, anyone can beat anyone. We have a bit of an Achilles heel with Siddle and Rochdale. We never seem to we never have like our very strongest team, or we never turn up them days, and they always seem to be turning up when they play us, so we want to try and get up there and match them, to be honest, because like you say, it's an open league this year, someone's got to win it.
And go well, enjoy the wedding, and I'll no doubt catch up with you later in the year, mate.
Lovely, cheers for that.
And also after the final whistle, a clearly disappointed Lock Lane boss Paul Couch shared his thoughts on what went wrong for his side. Well, and with Paul Couch, disappointing result in the end, that one.
Yeah, very disappointing. That's been coming over the last 3 weeks, that performance, and that's taking nothing away from York Acorn. The game management were a lot better than us, and we've gone 10-8 in front and looked as though we were chasing game, and that's what's cost us in the end. And
what do you put that down to? Is that just lads losing themselves in the 80 minutes?
Just game management, like I've just said. No leader just to put their hand up and just say we're just going to finish into corner. We're putting players on that it's catch-up players, and we don't need to when we're 10-8 up. And then just a number of things, and that's not just when I say game management, the halfbacks, that's the whole team as well. Some of the stuff that they did.
Because you have got some experience still in this side, haven't you?
Yeah, some really good experience, but you wouldn't have thought so today. We've played. We were bang average again, and like I say, I've seen that coming over the last 3 weeks. That result, and it seems to be a problem at home that we've got. We start the game poor, we start the game slow, and we just I wouldn't say we're low on confidence, because the lads have just had a good chat there, and there's been a few honesties said, and we go again next week against Rochdale at home, which is another tough ask.
That's one where you've certainly got to pull your socks up for, isn't it? Because I mean they'll come at you right from the very start.
Yeah, just like York did today, and we want prepared. We didn't start the game well. We've done that over the last 3 weeks. It took us 20 minutes to get into a game, and we're just not going set for with teams. We're just wanting to play catch-up rugby all the way through a game.
Can you take any positives from that?
No, not all. No, not all. Some players have put their hand up. I thought Maskey were good, and Sean Pick very good. Danny Sowerby were good, played really well, but we lose Sowerby next week. He's not available, so we've got to look at putting somebody there to give us that bit of energy that Danny did.
It was a tough one for Lock Lane, but a valuable win for York Acorn as the league continues to throw up some fiercely contested matchups. Elsewhere, there were also some big games in the Premier Division this week, and none came bigger than West Hull against Siddle. West Hull 12, Siddle 10, and Jack Townend was the hero for Wests, landing a decisive penalty on 51 minutes after a high tackle. West defence then stood tall in a gripping contest between two top-tier sides. Siddle had gone ahead through Harry Milnes early on, but tries from Eli Wilkinson and Kieran Masik helped West to a 10-4 lead at half-time. Harvey Williams' second-half score, improved by Lewis Hosty, levelled things up before Townend's boot sealed it. So a reminder of the scorers there for West Hull: Eli Wilkinson and Kieran Masik going in for tries, 2 goals from the boot of Jack Townend. And then for Siddle, tries from Harry Milnes and Harvey Williams with a goal from Lewis Hosty. West Bowling continue to set the Premier Division alight, and this weekend they hosted Thatto Heath Crusaders. And 4 tries from Oliver Bartle helped West Bowling ease past Thatto Heath. Thatto briefly led 12-6 through the efforts of Ryan Forshaw and Sean Kenny, but Bowling were clinical, with Bartle completing his hat-trick after the break and Logan Simpson, Lewis Magson and Jack Howdle also crossing. Harry Williams was flawless with the boot in the end. So a reminder, it finished West Bowling 38, Thatto Heath Crusaders 18. Bowling's tries coming from Oliver Bartle, that 4-try performance from him. Logan Simpson, Lewis Magson and Jack Howdle with the other tries. Goals for Harry Williams, he kicked 7 of them. And for Thatto Heath, Ryan Forshaw, Sean Kenny and Jack Jones, the try scorers. 3 goals from the boot of Ryan Horton. Now, it seems a little bit early in the league campaign to be talking about survival, but that is what Hunslet ARLFC are chasing. They were up against Waterhead Warriors at the weekend, and get this for a score: Hunslet ARLFC 26, Waterhead Warriors 10, and Hunslet bounced back from 10 points to 4 down to claim a vital win in their fight to climb from the bottom. Tyler Dargan gave them an early lead before Waterhead hit back via Tim Bridge and a couple of penalties from Keegan Brennan. But Hunslet then dominated the second half with tries from Josh McClelland, Tommy Cork adding his second, and Jake Dearden with Jordan Gale adding 2 goals to complete a 3-goal haul for him. So Hunslet winning 26 points to 10. Their tries courtesy of Tyler Dargan, 2 from Tommy Cork, 1 each for Josh McClelland and Jake Dearden, 3 goals from the boot of Jordan Gale. Meanwhile for Waterhead, just a lone try from Tim Bridge and 3 goals from the boot of Keegan Brennan in the end. Dewsbury Moor Maroons are still to pick up points in this, their very first Premier Division campaign, and they came up against Wathbrow Hornets at the weekend, and Wathbrow surged to a 28-0 lead before Dewsbury Moor fought back. The Cumbrians ran in 7 tries in total, including early efforts from Jack Meagan, Devon Sharp, Aidan Dawson, Carl Dixon and Isaac Scott. And Dewsbury replied through Felix Ellis with 2, Jake Butterfield and Harry Hartley. But Hornets added late polish via Frank King and Nat Dugan. So the try scorers in this one, the 22 points for Dewsbury Moor Maroons made up of 2 tries from Felix Ellis, 1 try each for Jake Butterfield and Harry Hartley, 3 goals from the boot of Greg Culbridge. And for Wathbrow Hornets, tries from Jack Meagan, Devon Sharp, Aidan Dawson, Carl Dixon, Isaac Scott and Jamie Devine, Frank King and Nat Dugan, with goal split between Greg Rooney with 3 and Sam Kerwin also getting his name on the scoreboard from the boot. It was another resounding performance from Rochdale Mayfield. They accounted for Lee Miners Rangers 42 points to 0. And anything that Oliver Bartle can do for West Bowling, well, Tyrone Chip Chase can match it and better it for Rochdale Mayfield. He scored 5 tries in this game, and those 5 tries lit up Rochdale's emphatic win over the struggling Miners, who've now lost 7 on the bounce. Cole Connolly, Max Reisman and Ben Metcalf added further tries, while Ewan Higgs slotted 3 goals and Connolly added 2 more. Mayfield's Devlin Long was simbing late on for descent, but it had no bearing on the result. It finished Rochdale Mayfield 42, Lee Miners Rangers 0.
Every tackle, every try, every scrum. Green Cooling is proud to be part of the Community Rugby League family.
Moving into Division 1, and there were some similarly really good games. I want to start with this one. Woolston Rovers 34, Heworth 32. Relegation threatened Woolston Rovers pulled off a stunning comeback to edge title-chasing Heworth 34-32 in a dramatic home win that breathes new life into their survival hopes. Rovers had shot into a 10-0 lead but found themselves 32-22 down with just 10 minutes remaining. However, late tries from Ben Dixon and a 70-metre interception effort by Sean Kelly turned the tide. Ryan Brown, who kicked 5 goals in total, held his nerve to nail the decisive conversion. So the Woolston scorers in this one were tries from Ryan Brown, James Tarpey, Andrew Addison, Harry Files, Ben Dixon and Sean Kelly. 5 goals from the boot of Ryan Brown. And for Heworth, 2 tries from Max Rhodes, 2 tries from Danny Allen, and 1 each for Callum Rutland and Maddox Jeffrey. Goal split between Callum Rutland, who added 2, and Jack Sadler, who also added 2. Ince Bridge maintained their momentum and their perfect start with a 7th straight win, surviving a red card to beat Oldham St Anne's 32 points to 24. Callum Hughes was sent off for dissent on the hour mark, but the leaders still had enough to prevail. Reece Bushell grabbed a hat-trick with Brodie Butler and Kyle Malone also crossing. Mason Fillingham had a good day with the boot, kicking 6 goals, including a late penalty. For Oldham St Anne's, their try scorers were Callum Cashin, Greg Worrell, Sam Johnson and Matt Whitehead, with Whitehead adding 4 goals. And for Ince Bridge, just repeating those scorers, Reece Bushell 3 tries, Brodie Butler with 1 try, Kyle Malone with 1 try, Mason Fillingham with those all-important 6 goals. Elsewhere, it was Wigan St Jude's 24, Shawcross Sharks 16. And Judes have climbed into second place thanks to this win over fellow promotion hopefuls, Shawcross Sharks. The game was eventually sealed 8 minutes from time when Connor Parkinson crossed and Danny Cassidy added the extras. Cassidy also bagged a brace of tries earlier, with further scores from Rhys McNally and Dante Morley-Samuels. So in this one, Wigan St Jude's scorers were 2 tries from Danny Cassidy, 1 each from Rhys McNally, Dante Morley-Samuels, and that important touchdown from Connor Parkinson, 2 goals from the boot of Danny Cassidy. And for Shawcross Sharks, tries from Josh Rhodes, Tennyson Neagle and Tommy Milburn, with the 2 goals from Evan Stevenson. But ultimately, it was to be St Jude's day. Tell you who else's day it was. It was Stanningley's. They hosted Wigan St Patrick's and ran out to an emphatic win. Get this one, Stanningley 38, Wigan St Pat's 6. And Stanningley stormed into the top 6 with this emphatic win against St Pat's, who had briefly drawn level early through Adam O'Neill's converted try. Jack Sykes and Alex Ryan both claimed doubles, while Connor Avillard added a try and 4 goals for Stanningley. Jermaine Ruan and Sam Peel also crossed, with Adam Butterell converting the final try. A fractious finish, however, saw Josh Phillips sent off and 4 players were sin-binned. So, a reminder of this one, the Stanningley scorers in total were 2 tries from Jack Sykes, 2 tries from Alex Ryan, 1 each from Connor Avillard, Jermaine Ruan and Sam Peel. Goals split between Connor Avillard, who grabbed 4, and Adam Butterall with 1. For Wigan St Pat's, just their lone try came from Adam O'Neill and the goal from the boot of Jack Sprout. Over at Egremont Rangers took control in the second half to record a 34-14 win over bottom side Wilton Raiders. The visitors had levelled early in the second period, but were blown away by 4 unanswered tries. Brad Long, Jake Conway, Christian Tyson and Tom Horton all crossed, with Matt Buscher adding 3 goals in this period. So in total, the Egremont scorers, they came courtesy of Lachlan McDonald, Jake Conway, 2 tries in the end for Tom Horton, and Brad Long, with Christian Tyson also chipping in with a 4-pointer. Matt Buscher finishing with those 3 goals. For Wilton Raiders, well, Archie Craggs, Charlie Tetley and Elliot Oxley were their try scorers. Just the 1 goal from Josh Perkins, and they are still struggling at the bottom end of Division 1. Another side that is struggling at the bottom end of Division 1 is Crossfields, and To be fair to Kells, they actually had to come from 10-0 down to beat Crossfields 28-10 and remain firmly in the promotion picture. This came despite having Danny Doherty sin-binned before half-time, and Kells hit back through 5 tries, which included a Harry Watson brace and 4 goals from the boot of Grant Gainford. So in total in this one, Crossfield scorers came courtesy of Jamie Abro and Ben Steele, 1 goal from the boot of Dylan Bradish, and for Kells there were 2 tries for Harry Watson, then 1 each for Harley Nelson, Lewis Smith and Ryan Starkey, Grant Gainford adding 4 goals.
Every tackle, every try, every scrum. Green Cooling is proud to be part of the Community Rugby League family.
Continuing our National Conference League roundup, now let's dip into Division 2. And I tell you what, there was a right cracking clash right at the top of the division. Something had to give when unbeaten leaders East Leeds hosted in-form Dewsbury Celtic, who arrived chasing a 6th straight win. But in the end, it was East Leeds who laid down a marker, leading 16-0 at the break and eventually stretching their advantage to 28-0 before Celtic hit back late on. East Leeds were dominant throughout, scoring 5 tries and converting 4, with AJ Wilson, Callum Windley, Ryan Wooffitt, Jake Normington and Isaac Coleman all crossing the line. Celtic though did have some consolation through late tries from Alex Whiteman and Jordan Wilkins. Both were improved by the free scoring Jordan Hurst. So in this one it was East Leeds with tries from AJ Wilson, Callum Windley, Ryan Wooffitt, Jake Normington and Isaac Coleman. Luke Littlewood added 4 goals to his ever-increasing tally, and for Dewsbury Celtic, Alex Whiteman scoring tries alongside Jordan Wilkins, and Jordan Hurst kicking 2 goals. In another battle between teams entrenched in the top 4, Clotface Miners came out on top against Normanton Knights, and they produced a stirring fight back to snatch that 24 points to 18 win over Normanton. This despite falling 18-0 behind midway through the first half. The Knights had struck early through Taylor Carter, Adam Crowther and Nathan Evans, all converted by Jake Crossland. But the tide turned when Tom Taylor got the Miners on the board before the break. Jack Graham and Brandon Lewis drew the scores level, and with 3 minutes left to play, Nathan Benson sealed the comeback. Lewis Geraghty added his 4th goal to wrap things up. So, a summary of those scorers for Clotface Miners: tries from Tom Taylor, Jack Graham, Brandon Lewis and Nathan Benson, Lewis Geraghty adding 4 goals. And for Normanton Knights, well, there were tries from Taylor Carter, Adam Crowther and Nathan Evans, with Jake Crossland adding those 3 goals. Over at Thornhill Trojans, their worries don't look like they're getting any better. Barrow Island made it 4 wins on the bounce with an 18-4 triumph over Thornhill Trojans. They remain on a 6-game losing streak. Barrow surged to a 16-0 lead within 16 minutes, thanks to tries from Perry Singleton, John Walsh and Finn Dutton-Rosconi, who also added 2 conversions. Thornhill then replied with a Ryan Mitchell try on the half hour, but Dutton-Rosconi's penalty before the break proved the final score of the game, despite Barrow Island then losing Trent Ruddy to the sin bin late on. So, reminder of those scorers for Barrow Island: tries from Perry Singleton, John Walsh and Finn Dutton-Rosconi. Goals, 3 of them came from the boot of Finn Dutton-Rosconi, and then just a lone try from Thornhill Trojans that scored by Ryan Mitchell. Over at Pilkington Recs, this was my 2nd game of the weekend, and this saw Pilks host a rather depleted Ellenborough side. So Ellenborough could only travel with 15 players, and in the end were overwhelmed by 58 points to 6 by a rampant Pilks Recs. In total, Pilks ran in 10 tries, which included a hat-trick from Aidyn Jones, and braces for both Tyrese Daly and Andy Napper. Further tries came from Josh O'Connell, Mark Ashton, Callum Derrick, who was involved in a couple creating, and Callum Johnson, with Kieran Napper booting 7 goals in total. Ellenborough Rangers finally got what they deserved, getting on the scoreboard late on through Joe Appleby, Brett Stevenson adding the conversion, and despite a very spirited second half, it ended up being 58 points to 6. So a reminder of those scorers for Pilks Recs: a hat-trick of scores for Aidyn Jones, 2 each for Tyrese Daly and Andy Napper, and 1 try each for Josh O'Connell, Mark Ashton, Callum Derrick and Callum Johnson. Kieran Napper adding 7 goals in the end there. And for Ellenborough Rangers, there was a try from Joe Appleby and a goal from Brett Stevenson. Shall we have a couple more interviews? You bet you. And after this game, I caught up with Pilks Recs' Aidyn Jones to ask him how he's settling in with Pilks Recs, having only just joined them this season. Okay, so we're here at Pilkington Recs and with hat-trick hero
Aidyn Jones.
Aidyn, gotta say, I mean, you don't score a boring try, mate.
More I make it hard for myself. Make it look a bit more dramatic than it actually is.
Tell us a little bit about that game. I mean, 58-6 sounds like it was all dead easy, but they took a little bit more beating than that, didn't they?
Yeah, I think that's one of the better games we've played, to give credit to ourselves, but at the same time we're missing 4 or 5 lads from normal starting squad, so to put a score like that against them, trying to keep it scoreless but didn't end up that way, but still very good for the club.
And is this your first season down at Pilks?
First season down in Pilks, travel from Wales.
Well, it's some commitment there, mate.
Yeah, a couple of miles in my old Land Rover, but it's definitely worth it to play a higher level.
So how long have you been playing rugby league for them?
Probably been playing about 4 or 5 years. Took the last 2 or 3 years more serious. Played with Wales Dragon Hearts, and I was at Chester last year in North West Men's Div 4. So this is a massive step up, and it's nice to go out with the structure and same lads week in, week out.
And that's now like 8 tries for the season for you. They keep playing out to you, don't they?
Well, I think it's 10. You know, I'm not really good at counting myself.
I robbed a couple off you.
Yeah, I'm not the best at counting, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm on 10 now. But yeah, lucky the ball just comes out, and the structure we play, we want to hit those edges. And to be fair, it looks like you can enjoy playing in this type of back line. Yeah, absolutely. The quality of ball I'm getting and the speed of hands is phenomenal, and I'll back myself against most people. I'm getting a bit old now, but trying to play out my glory years now. 31.
I was going to say, now, what do you call old?
Over 25. That's when I hit my peak anyway.
But you're strutting your stuff in the National Conference League, you know, which is, to be fair, it's only just underneath that professional level, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I wasn't too sure how well I'd gel at the squad here. It's a massive step up from where I've been playing. Credit to Chester. I mean, there's a great setup there as well, but I just fancied myself this year, just taking it up a level.
And did you know any of the lads before you came down here?
Played with Ben and Josh at Dragon Hearts, and they've twisted my arms come down.
Obviously a good decision then.
Yeah, great decision. The missus isn't too happy. It's a big commitment most weekends. I'm out the door from 11 till 7, 8 o'clock most nights, but it's good that she's very understanding.
Well, thanks for giving us a little bit of an insight, you know, because I mean, putting so much effort into it, and you know, with all the mileage what you're doing as well, I mean, that certainly marks you out as somebody who's dead committed to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, I just want to make the most of the rugby I've got with the time I've got left. I mean, I'll play till I can't play anymore, but you don't know when that's coming, do you?
Cheers.
Great to hear from Aidyn there, and I tell you what, he's a committed man, isn't he? Travelling all the way from North Wales every single training session and for games with Pilkington Recs. But fair play to him, he's a man on form. He's got the air of a natural try scorer, and he's certainly helping Pilks Recs as they have a good go at getting in the playoffs. Shall we have some other reaction though? Yes, why don't we do that? And first of all, I caught up with the Ellenborough Rangers skipper, Ryan Wilson, a prop forward usually, who actually played scrum half in this game.
Okay, I've been joined by the skipper of Ellenborough Rangers, Ryan Wilson. Ryan, a tough one to take today.
Aye, tough. Red hot, AstroTurf, twice as fast as normal, so, and we've come down with 15 men. Aye, solid.
That said, I mean, a real spirited effort from everybody. I think everybody's really pulled the tripe out this afternoon, haven't they?
Aye, yeah. One to 15, I want to 13 on the pitch, which I had. Tough conditions, like.
If I can ask you a little bit about your time with Ellenborough as well, because you're the captain of the side. When did you love a first start?
Oh, I don't know, as far as I can remember. I was 15 years I've been down this club, so
Probably another 15 years ago.
And what have been some of those highlights in that time? Obviously, have you seen the rise of coming into the National Conference League?
Well, yes. When we first set off at Ellenborough, we were at the bottom. Second division in the Carla. We were getting beat every week. And then we started getting finding our feet, started winning every week. Put ourselves to the test, came to the NCL. We've won the Division 3, came up in Division 2 now. Finding our feet in this division.
And it's a tough place to learn, isn't it? There are a lot of young players around you today.
Oh yeah, I had loads of young hands and loads of lads come from uni as well. And then I struggled with there.
Are you embracing this leadership role that you've now got then?
Well, I just got to lead by example really and try and fetch the young ones on. It's hard to keep your leading that, but lost your rag with them. Got to fetch them on, I'll be patient with them. We'll get there, we'll get back there again.
And was that the first time you played scrum half?
Thereabouts, I usually play prop, so playing prop to scrum half, it's a bit wrong, isn't it?
I was going to say, yes, it's a bit of a jump that, isn't it?
It's hard work.
I thought you handled it pretty well though, having said that today.
Cheers, man.
So I'll go and let you join your teammates. Thank you so much for joining me.
Cheers, man.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Ryan Wilson there, doing what he could for the team. And now let's hear from his coach, shall we? This is my conversation with Paul Gorge of Ellenborough Rangers.
Okay, I'm joined by Paul Gorge. Paul, we spoke before the game and you thought that this would be a really challenging game for you. So it's proven in the end, 58 points to 6, but it doesn't really tell the tale, that, does it?
No, it doesn't really. I thought the young lads done well. I mean, like I said before, Dave, we've got about 6-7 lads today in Ireland on one of our ex-players' christening. So we came down here really on Aidyn, I think, today, but I'll give the lads the due. A lot of young lads came in and they've done the bit, and like you say, it looks like it was a hammering, but it was just sort of 4th, 5th tackles, where the guys were just a bit too strong for us, and a bit of sort of confidence, the young guys just not having the experience just to push on the inside shoulder. So, but yeah, I'm happy enough with them. I can't knock them. 15 lads have come down and 15 lads have put Ellenborough shirt on and done the bit for the club again, so great.
I said on commentary that Pilks weren't for scoring any just pushover tries. They had to sort of work, and they had a couple which were from kick returns as well, and really long distance stuff.
Yeah, and again, they play the pitch well, don't they? I was talking to them before the match, the coaches, and they said this is probably the biggest pitch in the country, and they do play it well. So if our guys didn't defend properly, which in a couple of occasions we just didn't get to the touch lines, we didn't have the inside push, that's what happens on these. But like you say, they had to work for the try, so I was pleased with the lads. We didn't just lay over and let them win. The guys got stuck in and they done the bit, so yeah.
I'm going to say, real reward in the corner, with that little pass from Broster, and then the lad scoring, Joe, on was his debut.
Well, Joe's played a few times for us, but that's his first try for the first team, and he's gaining confidence every week, and I think you could see in the second half that little try he got, and then he kept coming in looking for the ball and stuff. It's things like that please me, these young boys coming in. I mean, Joe's came from another town, he's with a girl from our town now, and he's got settled into the club, and he's doing a good job, and the other kids on the other wing and that, we've got young centres, young wingers that's just come in and helped out today, and they've done all right, they've done well.
It's probably one of those where when you look at it, this is probably an Ellenborough side that's 2 or 3 years away, isn't it?
Without a doubt. I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't have blooded a lot of these young kids just yet. We'd have probably brought them through our second team, but obviously we didn't get a second team this year. But at the end of the day, we can only blood them, when I can, and we've had to blood them a bit early. But listen, I mean, I don't want to ruin the confidence. That's the only thing. I want to make sure that these kids want to play for us for years to come. So we do try and keep, look after them. Took a couple of them off, brought them back on and stuff. Just giving them a feel of what NCL2's like. But yeah, we'll be all right. We'll get there.
From a wider point of view, Paul, how long is this that you've now been at the helm of Ellenborough football?
God, I've been at the club from under 13. I'm 56 now in this month, so been here for 40 odd year. Set off youth, under 13, like I say. We had a really good under 17, under 15, under 17 side, and then there was another under 17 side that came behind us, which ended up being sort of the Ellenborough stalwarts of the teams there. So yeah, I've been sort of at the club for forever when I played for Workington for a while and came back. But I've done the head coach now, I think it's about 8 years, but I've been assistant for quite a few people. I've always been involved with Ellenborough Rangers, it's in my blood.
And this current period, because I suppose, it's something that's replicated throughout the league, isn't it? Where you almost need 50 players for a season, don't you?
Yeah, and that's what we find, and you often think it's just your club, but it isn't. It's the game at the minute, isn't it? And there's a lot of distractions away from rugby league, and all these young boys have got festivals they can go to, they've got holidays. A lot of them, their wives tell them they're not coming or whatever. It's one of them. But I think it's changed, hasn't it? Rugby league's changed a bit, and you've just got to pull together as a unit. And like I say, we've got a good maybe 6 to 8 to 10 players to come back into our first team there. Credit to the lads that have come in today, but we've just got to keep fighting on like every other club. Every other club suffers. I was talking to the Pilkington Recs lads before the game, and I think they had 2 or 3 cry-offs before. It happens, and that's just rugby league, We've just got to get on with it, haven't we? We all love the game, so we've just got to get on with it.
Well, I can tell the love of the game that sort of like radiates from your smile even after such a result.
Yeah.
And as well, I'm guessing that, it's in your blood, this club, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. It's in my blood. It was in my dad's blood. My dad was the president, and I've sort of took over that as well now. But it's just a family thing with us, we've always been here, but it is a family club, and that's what we pride ourselves on. Anybody that comes to the club, no matter what capability they've got, they could be just beginners, intermediates, advanced, we don't care. We open our arms up to everybody that wants to come and play for Ellenborough, and I'm sure that anybody you talk to who's ever played for Ellenborough will say the same thing. It's a great club to play for, and we're proud of it.
And this is where you can really put the name out, and you're still looking for players, aren't you?
Of course we are, yeah. We've struggled this year. A few of our players have left for whatever reason, and that's fair dues. Everybody has their own life outside rugby league, but we've struggled a bit round the half-back position and that this year, which we all know it's critical in the game, isn't it? If you've got 2 good half-backs, we've lost young Andy, and Jordan hasn't played a lot this year as well, and it's been difficult, but we'll get there, and like you say, we are looking for players, so if there is any players that want to come down and give it a shot at Ellenborough, they're very much welcome.
So while it was bad news for Ellenborough Rangers, it got to be really good news for Hensingham. They accounted for Skirler 46 points to 16. Hensingham piled on more misery on winless Skirler, scoring 24 unanswered points in the final quarter to eventually take the victory. It had been close at 22-16 on the hour, but the home side, they stormed home with tries from Ben Pearce, Jordan Pritt, Rory Henderson, Noel Branthwaite and Adam Williamson. Logan McEvoy, Pearce, Luke Charlton and Matt Williams had opened the scoring for the Cumbrians, with Miller Dalton kicking 4 goals and Williamson converting his own try. Skirler did reply through George Thompson, Nathan Dunn and Billy Stead, and Tommy Gray added a pair of goals, but it was never enough. And a reminder that the scorers in this one for Hensingham: tries from Logan McEvoy, 2 for Ben Pearce, 1 each for Luke Charlton, Matt Williams, Jordan Pritt, Rory Henderson, Noel Branthwaite and Adam Williamson. Goals split between Miller Dalton with 4 and Adam Williamson with 1. And for Skirler, those tries from George Thompson, Nathan Dunn and Billy Stead, 2 goals from the boot of Tom Gray. On Friday night there was a bit of Friday night thrillers about this one. Driglington 26, Hull Dockers 22. Driglington just edging out Hull Dockers and handing the visitors their 5th consecutive defeat. Dockers had struck early through Jack Smith, but Drig responded with Joe Sheldon doubling up and tries to Max Liddemore and Luke Hudson, Mick Sanderson converting 3. Zach Smith added a further Driglington try, and although Hull hit back through Dan Sudderby, who also kicked 3 goals, and a brace of tries from Ollie Agar, they came up just short in the end. Driglington 26, Hull Dockers 22. And the scorers in this one: 2 tries for Joe Sheldon, 1 each for Max Liddemore, Luke Hudson and Zach Smith, Mick Sanderson adding 3 goals. And for Hull Dockers, Jack Smith with a try, Ollie Agar with 2, Dan Sudderby with a try and 3 goals.
Every tackle, every try, every scrum. Green Cooling is proud to be part of the Community Rugby League family.
Moving into Division 3 now, and I tell you what, this sounded like an absolute corker of a game. Dissington 20, Saddleworth Rangers 22. It was a tight contest between the top side Saddleworth and a strong Dissington outfit. The Cumbrians led 14 points to 10 going into the final quarter, but Rangers hit back with second tries for both Joe Taylor and Robert Charles. Connor Whitehead added the final 2 of his 3 goals to push Saddleworth to a 22 points to 14 lead. Dissington then grabbed a late try through James Moulton, converted by Scott George, but it came just too late for the Cumbrians. So the scorers in this one, Joe Taylor scoring 2 tries, Robert Charles scoring 2, Connor Whitehead kicking 3 goals for Saddleworth, and for Dissington, tries from Callum Fox, Zach Williams, Brandon Walker and James Moulton with 2 goals from the boot of Scott George. Elsewhere, Keighley Albion, they had to survive a little bit of a shock as well against Milford, eventually prevailing by 22 points to 18. Keighley built an early 12-0 lead through tries from Cal Hudson and Ben Stead, but Milford fought back well. Albion extended their advantage with 2 Josh Tenniswood tries, while Hudson slotted 3 goals. Milford stayed in it though, with tries from Kyle Tasker, Steve Bacon and Joe Tharm, all converted by Hamish McClintock, but Keighley held firm at the finish. Albion scorers, tries from Cal Hudson, Ben Stead and 2 from Josh Tenniswood. Goals from Cal Hudson, who added 3 to the tally. And for Milford, tries from Kyle Tasker, Steve Bacon, Joe Tharm. Goals from the boot of Hamish McClintock, he added 3. Bentley are having a great start to the season, and their winning streak extended to 4 as they outgunned Millom despite a spirited late surge from the visitors. Grant Hill bagged a brace and was joined on the score sheet by Ben Sykes, Alex Bates, George Newbury and Ben Smith, with Kieran Lewis adding 4 goals. Millom replied strongly though through Hadley Thompson early on and Connor Terrell and Kyle Evans in the dying stages, with Lee Postlethwaite landing all 3 of his conversions. So for Bentley, 2 tries from Grant Hill, 1 each for Ben Sykes, Alex Bates, George Newbury and Ben Smith, 4 goals from the boot of Kieran Lewis. And for Millom, tries from Hadley Thompson, Connor Tyrrell, Kyle Evans, with goals for Lee Postlethwaite, who added 3. Close games are continuing to be the order of Division 3 this season, and it was no different at Myton Warriors, and it was Myton who snapped a 4-game losing streak with a comeback win against Lee East. They trailed by 22 points to 12 at half time and clawed back with tries from Tyler Fisher, Riley Anderson and Nathan Slater, which was his hat-trick, including the match winner, which came just 2 minutes from time. Jack Sanderson added 3 goals, and Lee East's points, they all came in the first half, and that came with tries from Jasper Cockle, Connor Graney, Kai O'Brien and Marcus Mercer, 3 of which were goaled by Adam Holland. So in total though, Myton Warriors, they've done tremendously well to get the result in this one by 26 points to 22. They had a hat-trick hero in Nathan Slater and other tries scored by Tyler Fisher, Riley Anderson, 3 goals from the boot of Jack Sanderson. And for Lee East, Jasper Cockle, Connor Graney, Kai O'Brien and Marcus Mercer going in for their scores, 3 goals from the boot of Adam Holland. Featherstone Lions remain in the hunt near the top of the table after a hard-fought win over Beverley. They never trailed but had to fend off a spirited second-half comeback. Ash Almonbrook and Will Smith opened the scoring, with Jack Beddish scoring twice across the halves. Sam Millard and Nathan Hammond added further scores in the second period, Liam Kay kicking 6 goals out of 7. And Beverley responded through Lewis Harold's brace and efforts from Ben Rowan and Lewis Miller. So the scorers in this one, tries for Featherstone Lions from Ash Almonbrook with 2, Will Smith, Sam Millard, Jack Beddish with 2 and Nathan Hammond with the tries, 6 goals from the boot of Liam Kay. And for Beverley, tries from Lewis Harold with 2, Ben Rowan and Lewis Miller. Goals split between Ben White with 2 and Alec Hardy with 1. Now, there had been an earlier sin bin in this one. 2 of them, in fact, both for Beverley, which I don't think helped their cause. So Tom Berman being marched temporarily for a professional foul and Alec Hardy being shown the yellow card for dissent. And that's a roundup of all of what happened last week in the National Conference League. Now it's time to have a look at what we've got coming up this weekend. It should be another fascinating weekend of fixtures.
Every tackle, every try, every scrum. Green Cooling is proud to be part of the Community Rugby League family.
Some big games across the Premier Division this weekend, and it all starts with Hunslet up against West Hull. Lee Miners, they're hosting York Acorn. Loch Lane are hoping to bounce back against Rochdale Mayfield. Siddle will look to continue, Siddle will look to improve things against Dewsbury Moor Maroons. On Waterhead, they are at home against Thatoith Crusaders. That looks like a bit of a tasty fixture over there in Oldham. On Wathbrow Hornets, well, they're hosting West Bowling. In Division 1, it doesn't get any easier for Crossfields. This week they host Wigan St Jude's. Intros Bridge are at home against Egremont Rangers in what looks to be an interesting affair, while Kells, they're at home against Oldham St Anne's. Stanningley have to go across to Ulton Raiders, so a bit of a short hop as far as they're concerned. Shawcross Sharks, they host Woolston Rovers, and Heworth, well, they're on the road this week against Wigan St Pat's. Division 2, and the interesting games just keep rolling. Barrow Island, they'll be hoping to extend their advantage, but they take on East Leeds. Ooh, that's a formidable game for Barrow Island this weekend. Dewsbury Celtic, another team that's on form up at the top reaches of the division. They're up against fellow promotion hopefuls Clockface Miners, so something's got to give at Crow's Nest Park. Ellenborough Rangers, well, they've got the small matter of a Cumbrian derby up against Hensingham. Oh, I'd like to be over at that one. That sounds like it could be an absolute stormer. Ellenborough expecting to get at least 6 players back in their lineup this week. And Hensingham doing pretty well this season, already chalking up a number of notable victories. Hull Dockers, they're hosting Pilkington Recs. And Normanton Knights, they're up against Thornhill Trojans. Skirler, meanwhile, they're at home to Driglington. And to round things off in Division 3, you've got Dissington at home to Beverley this weekend. Lee East with a tasty looking home fixture against Bentley to look forward to. Milford up against Myton Warriors. Meanwhile, Millham, they're at home against Featherstone Lions. And this one looks like it'll be a tip-top game, by the way. Saddleworth Rangers, they're at home to Keighley Albion. It looks like it's going to be another fantastic weekend weather-wise. Get yourself out to a National Conference League game, and I'll be back, rejoined, of course, by Steve Beach next week. Wherever you're going, whatever you're doing, enjoying your rugby league this weekend, go and do it. And if you can, check out a National Conference League game. We'll be back again with another 13 Pro-Am Community Rugby League show next week.
Every tackle, every try, every scrum. Green Cooling is proud to be part of the Community Rugby League family.